Nope. Oh, there he is. We lost you.
Forgive me. Oh. Sorry. Good morning. First Samuel chapter. You ever have it so good that you can still find something to complain about? If you're like me, getting ready for church, and I was serious. Getting ready for church, taking a shower, hot shower, nice fluffy bath towel my wife keeps in the cupboard. Everything's going great. And I look in the mirror and I'm combing my hair. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting pretty shaggy. And I literally told the Lord, I said, why? The next time I go to the barber and get my hair cut, can't you keep it that length forever? Why must I keep going back and spending money and my time? And I was serious. I am a wretched... I mean, sometimes we are just horrible. All right, I just wanted to tell you that because everything was going good, and then I complained about something that was just... Our Bible visitor has arrived. I recognize you.
You better be careful. He's going to strike you with baldness or something.
Who are you?
I'm King Saul.
King Saul. Nice to see you. You've changed your...
I've been king for a little while now. I'm into the job. No longer that donkey farmer you met.
Yeah, you got some nice clothes on. You got a crown. You got a sword.
Oh, yeah. This is a limited edition. Just two of its kind.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Saul. Things are getting pretty serious. Last chapter, if you'll read with me in chapter 12, just the last couple of verses, Samuel was pretty much giving a sermon, telling the children of Israel, hey, this is what to do, this is what not to do. In verse 24, only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart, for consider how great things he hath done for you. He's laying out the groundwork. Just think about all the things the Lord has done for you and the people in the past, and you'll be fine. But, verse 25, if ye shall do wickedly, ye shall be consumed, both ye and your king. So that's a warning. Let's go to chapter 13. Now it says in verse 1, now you, Saul, reigned 1 year, and when you had reigned 2 years over Israel, Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, wherefore 2,000 were with Saul in Mishmash and in the mount of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan, who is your son, in Gilbad of Benjamin, and the rest of the people he sent every man to his tent. So you get together 3,000 men, 2,000 for you, and 1,000 for Jonathan. Now Jonathan runs off and does some pretty serious stuff. Tell us about what Jonathan did when you gave him those men.
We separate there, and the enemies of Israel are set against us, and he goes out and he takes his company, and they dismantle and destroy an entire garrison of Philistine soldiers. Entire garrison he uses as he fights against them with his 1,000 men at his command. So that's a good victory for us. We're celebrating stuff. I'm spreading the news for the land, blowing the trumpet. The people are happy with this. But then, of course, eventually the Philistines get gathered together and they're going to strike back.
Yeah, so they're not happy that Jonathan went and killed a garrison of Philistines. Now, a garrison of Philistines, there's not like a specific number of people. A garrison is just a collection of troops in that area, so we don't know exactly how many Jonathan killed, but he killed a garrison. Now, the Philistines are mad, and now they gather together in verse 5, 30,000 chariots and 6,000 horsemen. Now, you got 2,000 men with you. Jonathan's got 1,000. That adds up to 3,000. And here it says 30,000 chariots. So now they're coming after you.
So we're kind of outnumbered here 3-10, and they're coming against us, so it's not good. Things aren't looking very well for us in our army.
Okay, so it says that you went, as for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. Now, in verse 6, it says that you're going to start to lose some men. People are going to start hiding and running.
Right, they see the danger that's coming against us, and they're hiding all over the place through the rocks and the caves and stuff, and going different directions. So this isn't good. I need everybody to come together and to stand against the enemy. We got to get together. So we got to get a rally here. Otherwise, we're never going to stand a chance, and they're going to wipe us out.
Okay, so you're supposed to go to Gilgal and stay there 7 days. Now, you obviously need help from the Lord because you have very little resources, including no swords, except for you and Jonathan. You have very little resources. They're surrounding you. You have to make a sacrifice to the Lord. Not you, but Samuel does. So you're supposed to wait 7 days for Samuel.
So we're going to seek God's help, and He's delivered us in the past from the Philistines and from our enemies. So we go there, and I'm waiting these days, and Samuel's supposed to come and make this sacrifice. And this will be our steps. We're going to call out to God, and also the people they're going to rally behind this. Everyone's getting together, but we're waiting and waiting.
So obviously you wait because a king can't make a sacrifice. Only a priest or a prophet can make a sacrifice. So you wait for Samuel, correct?
Well, I'm waiting and waiting on Samuel. The days going by, he's supposed to show up, and he's late. He's not showing up, and well, I'm on a time crunch here. They're coming against. They could be attacking any day now. So I don't have time. So
you did.
What I end up doing is I take on myself and I perform the sacrifice myself. Because Samuel's not going to show up. Maybe something bad happened to him, or maybe he can't make it. So I just go ahead and do it myself as the king.
So Samuel shows up in verse 11 and says, "What hast thou done?"
He shows up almost right after I complete the sacrifice. And he comes in. He's, of course, he's unhappy about it. I'm trying to tell him that, hey, I had no choice.
Yeah, it says here you gave him.
The people were pressuring. They said, we got to get this done. We got to make everything right with God. You got to do this.
So you were impatient. So you gave him a bunch of excuses. And you said, because I saw the people were scattered from me. That's one excuse. And that thou camest not. There's another. You were too late.
He wasn't here. He should have been here on time.
And that the Philistines gathered themselves together. Therefore, said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me, and I have made supplication unto the Lord. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a blow.
I didn't want to. It was a hard thing. It was a hard decision to make, but, I did it, and that's what I did. But now Samuel, he's unhappy, and he's against me, and he gives me some really bad news that I just don't want to hear.
Right. So what was his message to you?
Well, he comes and he tells me that God's now going to take the kingdom away from me, that it's not, I'm no longer going to be king soon enough, and that he's going to give it to another, that he's preparing someone, a man who's after his own heart, and he tells me all these things. It's no longer going to stay in my family. My sons who after me won't rule. So he's telling me all this thing because I disobeyed God, that he's going to take this away from me.
Yeah, it says he's going to find, God's going to find someone, it says, sought him a man after his own heart. We pretty much know who that is. You don't know who that is yet, but and Samuel arose in verse 15 and gathered him up from Gilgal unto Gibeah of Benjamin. And Saul numbered the people that were present with him, about 600 men. So you're down to 600 men. You just had 2,000, and so 1,400 ran away and went home and hid in the rocks?
Well, I'm trying to gather more, and I'm having the opposite reaction.
Okay, so now you're in real trouble. Now the Philistines are completely surrounding you. I mean, this is going to take an act of God. You have, like I said, very little resources, and they have thousands and thousands, and you don't have any weapons.
Yeah, out of these 600, they don't even have proper swords and weapons and stuff. Like me and my son, we have the only swords in Israel of all the land. The Philistines in the past have taken those things away from us and taken those resources away so that they could continue and keep us under their subjection.
Yeah, it says that you guys had to go down and ask to get your axes and other things sharpened. You had to do it with a file.
Right? They took those resources away from us. It's really hard to fight back when, you don't have any weapons or anything.
Verse 22, almost at the end of this chapter, like we just discussed. So it came to pass in the day of battle that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people that were with Saul and Jonathan. But with Saul and Jonathan, his son, was there found. So only you guys had swords. In verse 23, and the garrison of the Philistines went out to the passage of Michmash. So that's where it ends. The battle's going to begin.
And I don't know how that's going to, I mean, what are we going to do? Come against them with rocks and sticks? Like,
yeah.
You've been listening to a message from the pulpit of Town Center Baptist Church in Happy Valley, Oregon. We invite you to come visit us at 10505 Southeast 85th Avenue in Happy Valley. If we can be of help to you, please call us at 503-659-4494. We wish you God's very best.